Stop consuming those vegetables. My apologies for the abruptness, but it's necessary for you to truly hear this. I am a physician with extensive experience. Over a decade of practice has shown me too many individuals harming their well-being with something as simple as a plate of salad. Yes, it sounds peculiar. We've been conditioned to revere vegetables as the cornerstone of a healthy diet. However, the reality is that not all of them are created equal, particularly once you reach the age of 60. Some of the very produce you've been eating for years might be subtly and insidiously damaging your heart, joints, blood vessels, and even your brain. The most alarming aspect is that the majority of older adults continue these dietary habits simply because they saw it on television or their parents always did. I implore you to watch this video until the very end, because today I will reveal 4 vegetables you absolutely must avoid if you are over 60, and 4 others that can genuinely extend your life, sharpen your memory, and restore a youthful glow to your skin. And the most crucial piece of information I'll share right at the conclusion. It's a secret I typically reserve for my closest patients. Frankly, some are moved to tears when they realize how straightforward it could have been to transform their lives. Right now, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This isn't about vanity metrics. It's about ensuring you don't miss out on advice that could safeguard your health. Believe me, you're about to encounter revelations you likely haven't heard before. I'm often asked, "Doctor, are you exaggerating? Can a vegetable truly be dangerous?" My response is always, yes, it can, especially when the body is no longer young. After 60, our metabolism slows, our digestive system functions differently, our liver and kidneys become more delicate, and our blood vessels grow more fragile. What your body processed with ease in your 30s can now trigger inflammation, blood pressure fluctuations, and even debilitating headaches. Let me share a story with you. A few years ago, a 68-year-old woman came to see me. She was meticulously put together and always wore a smile, the kind of person who had prioritized healthy eating her entire life. She began every day with a salad and fresh vegetables, as recommended by countless publications. Everything seemed fine until she started experiencing joint pain, bloating, and insomnia. Her lab results indicated inflammation, but without any clear cause. It was only when we thoroughly examined her diet that the puzzle pieces fell into place. One of her favorite vegetables was, in fact, a hidden detriment to her system at her age. Once she eliminated it, her pain subsided within 2 weeks, and after a month, she declared, "Doctor, for the first time in a long time, I feel so light and energetic." This is precisely why I'm recording this video, to prevent you from making the same missteps. It's crucial to understand that healthy eating in your 30s and healthy eating in your 60s are vastly different worlds. Our bodies evolve, and our diets must evolve with them. Now let's address this calmly, without alarm, but with absolute honesty. I'm going to show you 4 vegetables that actively drain your vitality, promote inflammation, and accelerate aging. Conversely, I'll highlight 4 others that offer profound support for your heart, brain, and longevity. But please, stay with me until the end, because the true power lies not just in avoiding problematic vegetables, but in understanding why they are detrimental to you specifically. This knowledge has the potential to revolutionize your entire life, your eating habits, your mornings. Many of my patients after these conversations express, "Doctor, why has no one ever told us this before?" My reply is simple. Because no one speaks honestly with people over 60. They merely echo generic advice from pamphlets without considering that a mature individual possesses a different body, a different metabolism, and different needs. Therefore, if you are over 60, this video is intended for you. If your parents are over 60, please share this with them. I beg you, do not dismiss this straightforward wisdom. It could add years to your life. While you're listening, ask yourself a critical question. Are you certain that what you have in your refrigerator is truly beneficial for you? Or could it be the very thing preventing you from sleeping soundly, feeling energetic, and maintaining a positive mood? I assure you, by the time we reach the end, you will see vegetables in an entirely new light. You'll discover that a single, minor adjustment to your diet can restore your energy, enhance your mental clarity, and even improve your memory. And yes, I will share information that many nutritionists hesitate to vocalize because it challenges deeply ingrained beliefs about healthy food. But I will speak it because I genuinely care. I've witnessed the toll these errors take on those who trusted marketing claims. I know there's a better way, simple, stress-free, and filled with self-compassion. In my professional experience after the age of 60, the most significant factor isn't what you eat, but how your body processes it. Sometimes, simply removing a couple of items is enough to allow your body to begin its own healing process. So, stay tuned. I'll soon reveal why 4 popular vegetables should be permanently excluded from your diet and which 4 you should embrace for a longer, more vibrant life. In the meantime, please subscribe so you don't miss the continuation. I promise the next part will contain information that can truly extend your life. I know some of you may be surprised, perhaps even indignant, right now. How can a tomato be harmful? Doctor, you must be joking. They're brimming with vitamins. That's precisely the danger. We've been led to believe they are a symbol of health, but for individuals over 60, they can be one of the most insidious culprits, especially when consumed frequently and raw. Let's examine this calmly, without panic, but with absolute candor. Tomatoes contain acid that can irritate the lining of the stomach and intestines. A younger person's body readily handles this, but after 60, the mucous membranes thin, metabolism slows, and the liver and pancreas are already working at their limits. What transpires? This acidity begins to literally abrade the stomach from the inside. It starts with heartburn, then a feeling of heaviness, progressing to chronic inflammation. The most concerning part is that the individual remains unaware that the cause isn't age or medication, but their daily salad made with fresh tomatoes. I recall a patient, Galina Sergeyevna, 72 years old. She was energetic, well-groomed, and always had a smile. She visited me every 3 months, complaining of abdominal pain, bloating, and lethargy. We treated her stomach, adjusted her diet, but saw little success. It was only when I inquired about her daily meals that she revealed, "Oh, just bread with a tomato slice. I can't go without them." We removed tomatoes from her diet for just 2 weeks, and the results were dramatic. Her bloating vanished, her bowel movements normalized, and the heaviness disappeared. A month later, she remarked, "Doctor, for the first time in 10 years, I'm sleeping soundly." This is why I insist. Tomatoes can be detrimental after 60, particularly if you have pre-existing issues with your stomach, joints, or blood vessels. Or if you are taking heart medication, it's not solely about the acidity. The tomato skin and seeds contain specific compounds called lectins. These are proteins that can cause microscopic inflammation in the gut and exacerbate autoimmune responses. While a young body can manage this, a mature one struggles. This is precisely why many notice heaviness, drowsiness, finger swelling, or joint pain after consuming a tomato salad. Now pay close attention. If you take blood pressure medication, heart medication, or aspirin, tomatoes can amplify the side effects of these drugs. They are rich in potassium, and when combined with certain medications, this can overload the kidneys. Therefore, if you are over 60, it is especially important not to consume tomatoes daily, once a week perhaps, but not every day, and only when they are cooked, stewed, baked, or in a sauce with the seeds removed. I understand you might be thinking, or P, but Italians live long lives and eat tomatoes. Yes, they do, but not raw, in large quantities. They consume them in sauces where the acidity is neutralized by cooking and the seeds are discarded. Crucially, they balance this with olive oil, which softens the impact of the acids. What do we often do? We chop tomatoes raw into salads, add onions and vinegar, and believe we're acting healthily. I am not suggesting this vegetable is inherently evil. I am stating that for a mature body, it presents a significant challenge, and yet we can so easily substitute it with other options that are gentle on the stomach, beneficial for the circulatory system, and rich in antioxidants without causing irritation. I'll discuss those alternatives shortly. Allow me to provide another example. I had a patient, Alexander Nikolaevich, aged 66. He complained of persistent joint aches, particularly in the mornings, and found no relief from topical treatments. When I inquired about his diet, he proudly stated, "I eat healthily every day, fresh vegetables, especially tomatoes." We removed them for 3 weeks. His subsequent comment was telling, "Doctor, it feels like the grit has been removed from my joints." This wasn't a miracle, it was simply a reduction in the inflammation that these vegetables had been perpetuating for years. This is why I implore you, don't view food as a mere habit, see it as medicine. In adulthood, every food item either heals or harms. There is no middle ground. Try living without tomatoes for just 1 week. Exclude them from your salads, don't put them on sandwiches, and simply listen to your body. Within a few days, you'll notice how much easier it is to wake up, how the heaviness after dinner dissipates, and how your sleep improves. If you've suffered from joint pain, you might find it less severe. I speak from experience, not theory, as a physician who has witnessed this phenomenon countless times. And please, do not attempt to substitute fresh tomatoes with canned versions. That is even worse. In marinades and ketchup, the acidity is intensified by vinegar and sugar, which severely impacts blood vessels and the pancreas. I realize it's difficult for many to forego a familiar taste, but don't worry, I will absolutely share how to replace tomatoes with alternatives that are both palatable and beneficial for your health. In the second part of this series, I will unveil the second insidious vegetable that triggers blood pressure spikes and accelerates vascular aging. Even if you believe it aids in weight loss, trust me, the revelation will be unexpected. For now, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation. I beg you, don't delay. You might discover tomorrow just how a simple dietary change can restore your lightness and energy. To be blunt, eggplant is a deceiver. It presents itself as refined and attractive, appearing to be a light, diet-friendly choice. However, for individuals over 60, it can be a formidable challenge, particularly for their joints and circulatory system. Many mistakenly believe eggplants are pure fiber and beneficial for the heart. The opposite is often true. I cannot stress this enough. What is good for you in your 30s is not necessarily good for you in your 60s. Eggplant contains a substance called solanine. This is a natural toxin that plants produce to ward off pests. In small amounts, a younger body can easily neutralize it. However, after 60, our enzymatic systems function more slowly, and solanine can accumulate, leading to fatigue, joint pain, irritability, insomnia, and in some cases even numbness in the fingers and mild headaches. When I explain this to my patients, they often express disbelief. "Doctor, but I only eat them infrequently, perhaps fried once a week." It then emerges that they fry them in oil until they are darkened and have absorbed the fat like sponges. The result is a significant burden on the liver, cholesterol spikes, and vascular inflammation. And all this stemmed from a desire for something seemingly light. Let me recount a specific case. I had a patient, Ivan Mikhailovich, 70 years old, a former construction worker. His complaints included knee pain, gout, and persistent weakness. "Doctor," he would insist, "I eat nothing unhealthy." And at first glance, his diet did appear sound: oatmeal, vegetables, a small portion of fish. But when I probed about his vegetable intake, he responded, "Well, I do enjoy my little eggplants. I bake them, make caviar, I love them." I asked him to abstain from them for a month. 3 weeks later, he returned, exclaiming, "You're a magician! My knees stopped aching at night." This wasn't magic. It was simply the cessation of the underlying inflammation that the solanine had been fueling. You must understand, eggplants are not inherently dangerous. Their danger lies in their combination with age, a slowed metabolism, chronic illnesses, and medications. If you are taking blood pressure medication, diuretics, or joint medications, eggplants can impede fluid excretion, worsen swelling, and reduce the effectiveness of these treatments. Furthermore, if you have thyroid issues, this vegetable can place an additional strain on your system. There's another crucial detail. Eggplants often contain nitrates, particularly those grown unnaturally in winter greenhouses with stimulants. In the body, these substances convert into nitrites, which interfere with normal blood flow and can provoke dizziness, weakness, and occasionally even heart rhythm irregularities. Therefore, if you are over 60, it is best to avoid eggplants altogether, especially when fried. Many will argue, "Pete, but I make caviar out of them. Isn't that healthy?" No. During the frying process for eggplant caviar, the oil oxidizes, transforming into a source of free radicals. These attack blood vessels and age the skin. This is one reason why some individuals who seemingly eat healthily develop dry, dull skin and a loss of facial radiance. Remember, eggplant is a vegetable with a distinct character. It benefits the young but can harm the mature. If you experience heaviness after eating, mental fog, or body aches, it's possible this vegetable is the culprit. Try abstaining for at least 2 weeks. Your body will thank you. Based on my experience, after the age of 60, the priority is not just choosing food, but selecting foods that invigorate rather than deplete. We often overlook how minor dietary components like the vegetables accompanying our meals impact our overall well-being. I'm not advocating for complete abstinence from everything, but it's vital to discern which foods demand effort from the body and which actively assist it in resting and recovering. Many of my patients, after eliminating eggplants, have reported not only physical improvements, but also emotional ones. Apathy has lifted, replaced by a desire to engage in activities, socialize, and explore. This occurs because the body ceases its internal battle against inflammation, freeing up energy for life itself. If you find it difficult to quit, consider substituting eggplants with zucchini. Zucchini is mild, solanine-free, supports intestinal function, and is easy to digest. Zucchini exemplifies how a simple choice can yield tangible benefits. Try this experiment. For 2 weeks, eliminate eggplants, fried foods, and all preserved vegetables. Within a week, you'll notice deeper sleep, more supple joints, and a more balanced mood. Don't believe me? Test it yourself. I've seen this outcome far too many times to doubt its efficacy. And remember, if your body over 60 begins to falter, it's not always simply aging. Sometimes it's a direct signal. Stop feeding me what I can no longer process. Now pay attention. In my next recommendation, I will discuss the third vegetable that appears harmless, but actually accelerates brain aging and contributes to forgetfulness. Almost everyone consumes this vegetable, and it may be the very reason you wake up with mental fog and fatigue. Don't go anywhere. What follows is critically important. And if you haven't already, subscribe right now so you don't miss the next segment. I assure you I will share information that can restore your clarity of thought and the vigor you haven't felt in ages. You'll be astonished, but the third insidious enemy after 60 is common corn, that same golden sweet corn that everyone considers safe and light. I understand how this sounds, as it's associated with summer, freshness, outdoor gatherings, and boiled cobs. However, the truth is, for the mature brain and vascular system, corn is one of the most hazardous vegetables. When I first began noticing this pattern among my patients, I must admit I found it hard to believe myself. After all, corn is a source of fiber and vitamins, seemingly an ideal food. But as I delved deeper, everything became clear. Modern varieties of corn contain excessive amounts of starch and sugars, which, after 60, become a genuine trap. To explain it simply, after 60, metabolism slows, insulin levels are often elevated, and brain cells become more sensitive to sugar fluctuations. The starch from corn rapidly converts to glucose, elevating blood sugar levels, which is then followed by a sharp decline. The outcome: fatigue, drowsiness, irritability, and most troubling, a clouding of thought. Individuals begin to forget words, lose concentration, and feel as though they're navigating through a fog. And all of this isn't due to age, but rather a daily bowl of seemingly innocent corn cereal. I recall a patient of mine, Anatoly Petrovich, 70 years old, a former physics professor, a brilliant man. He didn't come to me with complaints of stomach issues or blood pressure problems, but rather something different. "Doctor," he said, "I'm starting to forget everything. I can't recall surnames, I lose the thread of conversations. This must be old age." We conducted a thorough examination. His blood vessels were in good condition, and his lab results were satisfactory. Then I asked, "And what do you typically have for breakfast?" He smiled. "Just cornmeal porridge. I've eaten it my whole life." We replaced it with oatmeal, added protein, and healthy fats. A month later, he stated, "Doctor, it feels as though my head has cleared up. Do you understand what happened? It wasn't a miracle. His brain simply stopped suffering from constant sugar spikes. Every serving of corn is almost equivalent to a spoonful of sugar, just disguised as a healthy product. And if you favor canned corn, it contains added sugar, salt, and preservatives. This is a direct assault on your blood vessels and memory. There's another important factor. Corn contains phytic acid, a substance that hinders the absorption of magnesium, zinc, and iron. These specific micronutrients are essential for optimal brain function, memory, and sleep. If you regularly consume corn, even in small quantities, a deficiency in these elements can gradually develop. The consequence: fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, dizziness. Again, the individual attributes these symptoms to aging, when in reality, it's simply chronic depletion caused by an inappropriate dietary choice. Corn in the form of cornflakes, instant cereals, and popcorn is particularly dangerous. These are no longer food, but pure sugar. I often ask my patients, "Why do you eat popcorn?" And the response I receive is, "Well, it's just corn. It's not unhealthy." Yet it is precisely this that triggers microinflammation in the brain's blood vessels and contributes to forgetfulness. I always say the brain after 60 is like a fragile glass vessel. Any sugar spike, any inflammation, and cracks begin to appear. Initially small, you simply forget where you put your glasses. Then larger. You forget to turn off the stove, and eventually anxiety, fear, and sleepless nights set in. It all begins with food. One day, a woman, 69 years old, came to me with a complaint. "Doctor, I've started waking up at night with my heart pounding in my head. We've checked everything: blood pressure, heart, hormones." It then transpired that for dinner, she would have a bowl of boiled corn. But it's healthy, she insisted. We eliminated it for just 1 week. The palpitations ceased because, as it turned out, the corn was causing sugar spikes and activating an adrenaline response. Therefore, if you are over 60, remember a simple rule. Corn should be a rare guest at your table, not a daily staple. Once every 2 weeks is sufficient, and only in its natural state, without salt, without sugar, without oil. Many will object, but it's delicious, especially with butter. It's a feast. Yes, but that feast comes at a steep price for your brain. However, you can replace it with foods that provide energy without harm, such as broccoli or cauliflower. I will discuss these later when we move on to the beneficial quartet. Please do not interpret my words as prohibitions. This is not about restriction, it's about care. I witness people losing their mental clarity and accepting it as inevitable, but in my experience, by adjusting one's diet, the brain can be revitalized. I've seen individuals in their 70s and 70s begin reading books again, recalling poetry, and showing renewed interest in current events, simply because they stopped feeding themselves false fuel. Try going without corn for at least a week. Eliminate it in all its forms, boiled, flakes, and cereals. Within a few days, you'll feel a difference in your ability to think. Waking up will become more pleasant, and your vision will seem clearer. And now, pay attention. In the next segment, I will reveal the fourth insidious vegetable that masquerades as beneficial for your figure, but actually destroys your blood vessels and skin from the inside. This vegetable is particularly favored by those who monitor their weight, yet it is precisely this that causes skin to sag and the body to feel sluggish. Don't leave. The most unexpected truth is yet to come. And if you still haven't subscribed, do so now, because the most critical information begins shortly. How do we differentiate between harmful vegetables and those that genuinely promote longevity? Yes, you heard correctly. The ordinary cucumber, the most familiar, seemingly innocuous vegetable that appears to be the epitome of lightness and dieting. We toss it into salads, believing it detoxifies the body, that it's just water and nothing more. But therein lies the deception. After the age of 60, cucumbers can become a genuine adversary to your blood vessels and skin, especially if consumed frequently and at the wrong times. Let me explain this simply. As our bodies mature, they gradually lose their capacity for rapid fluid and electrolyte regulation. The kidneys find it increasingly challenging to process excess fluid, a situation exacerbated if an individual is taking medications for high blood pressure, swelling, or heart conditions. Now consider the humble cucumber. It introduces water into the system but struggles to eliminate it effectively when the circulatory system and kidneys are weakened. This can lead to puffiness, under-eye bags, a feeling of heaviness in the legs, and headaches. Most concerning are the hidden fluid accumulations within brain tissues, which contribute to feelings of lethargy, mental fogginess, and delayed reactions. Many patients express surprise, stating, "Doctor, I only eat vegetables." Upon deeper investigation, it often emerges that fresh cucumbers, particularly consumed in the evening, are a near-daily fixture, leading to morning puffiness, drowsiness, and fluctuating blood pressure. I recall a patient, Tamara Vasilyevna, a slender, organized and active 67-year-old who presented with complaints of morning swelling, making it difficult to open her eyes, and a fuzzy sensation in her head despite eating only light foods like vegetables and kefir. When I inquired about her vegetable intake, she revealed her fondness for cucumbers, believing them to be beneficial. Simply removing them from her diet for 1 week resolved her swelling, stabilized her blood pressure, and alleviated her mental heaviness. She remarked something I've never forgotten. "Doctor, I've realized that even water can be detrimental if it's not directed properly. Cucumbers deceive us with their perceived lightness. While they consist of approximately 95% water, this water is not structured in a way that truly hydrates cells. It's fluid that passes through quickly, but in cases of compromised kidney and vascular function, it becomes retained in the tissues. Furthermore, contemporary cucumbers are often cultivated with nitrates. As we age, our bodies process these substances more slowly, and even small amounts can induce weakness, sleep disturbances, and headaches. There's another important factor. Cucumbers deplete essential minerals, particularly potassium and magnesium, which are crucial for maintaining proper heart function. Consequently, individuals on blood pressure or diuretic medications who consume significant quantities of cucumbers effectively double their risk of experiencing cardiac irregularities. I've witnessed dozens of cases where arrhythmias developed simply due to excessive consumption of fresh vegetables. Let's turn our attention to the skin. After the age of 60, every cell loses moisture. Many mistakenly believe that increasing cucumber intake will hydrate their skin. The opposite is true. Due to imbalances in the body's salt regulation, cucumbers can actually draw trace elements from the skin, leading to a flabby appearance. It's akin to watering a plant without providing nourishment. It may appear hydrated, but will ultimately wither. Therefore, please don't be fooled by outward simplicity. Not all vegetables are created equal. Some heal, while others drain our energy. After 60, the quality of what we eat, rather than the quantity, becomes paramount. Every meal should support our bodies, not work against them. To maintain a sense of lightness and mental clarity, consume cucumbers sparingly and only during the first half of the day. Absolutely avoid them in the evening, especially before bedtime. If you already have a predisposition to swelling, heart failure, or hypertension, it's best to abstain from them entirely. In my experience, when individuals eliminate cucumbers from their evening diet, they typically notice a reduction in morning puffiness within 3 to 4 days, accompanied by increased alertness and fresher-looking skin. This isn't magic, it's simply the body ceasing its struggle against excess fluid. My intention in sharing this is not to frighten, but to encourage you to listen to your body. It consistently provides guidance. Beyond the age of 60, strict dieting is less important than mindful eating. Observe how your body reacts to food. If a particular item causes heaviness, drowsiness, or swelling, it's likely no longer serving you well. And now, a crucial point. The 4 vegetables, tomatoes, eggplants, corn, and cucumbers, are not inherently harmful. They are simply not suited to your current life stage. Your body has become wiser and more sensitive, requiring different forms of support and energy. This is precisely what I will elaborate on in subsequent sections, as there are vegetables that have the opposite effect, actively restoring blood vessels, nourishing the brain, smoothing the skin, and revitalizing energy. I refer to these 4 vegetables as the second wind of maturity, enabling the body to feel light again. But more on that shortly. For now, please remember this: not everything that appears fresh and green is beneficial. Sometimes, the very freshness conceals the source of your fatigue. In the upcoming segment, I will introduce the first of 4 beneficial vegetables that should be incorporated into your daily diet. This particular vegetable possesses the ability to cleanse blood vessels, enrich the brain, and impart a radiant glow to the skin, effectively rejuvenating the body from within. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as what follows is of utmost importance: vegetables that extend life. If you wish for your body after 60 to function with the precision of a finely tuned Swiss watch, begin with beetroot. Yes, that unassuming red root found at every market. It is frequently underestimated, and for good reason. This vegetable purifies, nourishes, and revitalizes. If I were asked to select one food item that would help an elderly person feel more vital, without hesitation, I would recommend beetroot. Why this specific vegetable? The reasons are simple. Beyond the age of 60, our bodies seem to lose their internal lubrication. Blood vessels become less pliable, blood thickens, and metabolism slows, much like an engine running on depleted oil. Beetroot acts as a natural cleanser, regulator, and restorer all in one. It thins the blood, enhances vascular function, lowers blood pressure, and delivers vital oxygen to the brain. Beetroot contains compounds called nitrates, but not the ones we typically fear. These are natural and gentle. Once ingested, they convert into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels, widens them, and improves blood flow. This is precisely why individuals who consume beetroot at least 3 times a week often report a reduction in dizziness, the disappearance of tinnitus, and increased morning energy. I recall a patient, Valery Ivanovich, 71 years old, who sought my help for lethargy and dizziness, with fluctuating blood pressure and declining memory. "Doctor, it must be my age," he lamented. I smiled, assuring him that age was not the sole culprit. His blood, I explained, was overly viscous, resembling syrup, and needed to be thinned. I advised him to consume a small portion of cooked beetroot each morning, just a couple of tablespoons. A month later, he returned radiant, exclaiming, "Doctor, I feel alive again. My mind is clear in the morning and I sleep soundly." It was simply beetroot. The remarkable benefits of this vegetable extend beyond vascular health. It contains betaine, a compound that aids the liver in detoxifying the body and supports digestive function. After 60, the liver's efficiency declines, leading to the accumulation of metabolic byproducts, medications, and fats. Beetroot acts like a gentle stream washing over stones, cleansing the liver. This process improves skin complexion, reducing dullness and restoring a healthy flush. Many women over 60 complain of dull skin and brittle hair, often attributing it to external factors. However, the root cause can frequently be a burdened liver. Incorporating beetroot into your diet can revitalize your complexion and clarify your gaze within a couple of weeks. I've observed this phenomenon hundreds of times. It's crucial to consume beetroot judiciously. Its efficacy lies in consistency and moderation. 2 to 3 tablespoons daily are sufficient. It can be enjoyed grated and cooked, baked, or blended into a smoothie with apple. The key is to avoid frying or adding vinegar. Here's a simple tip that functions as a gentle vascular exercise. Every morning upon waking, drink half a glass of baked beetroot juice diluted with an equal amount of water. Continue this for a week, and within days, you'll feel your body awakening, your blood flowing more vibrantly, and your mood stabilizing. In my experience, beetroot is a silent healer. It doesn't demand attention or offer instantaneous results, but it works deeply and gently, much like an old friend who is simply there when you need them. Many fear that beetroot raises blood sugar levels. This is a misconception. In moderate quantities, it actually helps regulate glucose levels due to its fiber content, which slows sugar absorption. Therefore, even individuals with diabetes can benefit from beetroot, provided it is consumed without added sugar, oil, or vinegar. I often tell my patients, if you only knew how grateful the brain is after a bowl of warm borscht. Each spoonful is like a drop of blood breathing freely. Let me be direct. Beetroot is more than just a vegetable. It's a gentle remedy for life's weariness. It restores lightness to the body, clarity to the mind, and peace to the soul, especially for those over 60. Try this. Prepare beetroot, chop it finely, add a touch of olive oil and lemon juice without salt, and consume it for 3 consecutive days. You will feel your body expressing its gratitude, And please do not believe those who claim that after a certain age, improvement is impossible. Change is achievable. Sometimes all it takes is choosing a different vegetable. I implore you, do not delay. Start with beetroot. It is the first step towards purification, renewal, and a life free from heaviness. In my second recommendation, I will discuss vegetables that nourish not only the body but also the soul, those that slow brain aging and enhance memory. These are the foods that foster a sense of calm, focus, and confidence, even at 70 years old. Don't forget to like and subscribe to ensure you don't miss the next installment. Believe me, it has the potential to transform your mornings and make your age irrelevant. If there were a vegetable that could literally extend the youthfulness of the brain, I would unhesitatingly name broccoli. Many older individuals approach it with skepticism, thinking, what's so special about it? It's just grass. But this is no mere grass. It's akin to a golden key to preventing brain aging. Broccoli is a concentrated natural antioxidant. It contains a compound called sulforaphane, a powerful guardian of brain cells and blood vessels. It functions as a cellular cleaner, removing aged cells, reducing inflammation, and supporting neuronal health. After the age of 60, inflammation becomes the primary adversary of memory and mental clarity. While not perceived as pain, it damages neural connections, leading to forgetfulness, absent-mindedness, and fatigue. Broccoli effectively extinguishes this internal fire. I often liken it to a cool rain after a scorching heat wave. It gently cools the body, allowing the brain to recuperate. I had a patient, Nikolai Semyonovich, a 73-year-old former engineer, intelligent and meticulous, who came to me complaining of forgetfulness. He couldn't recall where he'd put his keys and, more concerningly, the name of a friend's grandson. He felt embarrassed. He was already taking vitamins and other prescribed medications, but his diet remained conventional, consisting of bread, potatoes, meat, and a few cucumbers. I advised him to incorporate 100 grams of lightly steamed broccoli 3 times a week. A month later, he reported, it feels like the fog has lifted. My vision is clearer and my thoughts are sharper. It's not a miracle, it's physiology. Broccoli enhances brain nourishment and stimulates the production of glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. This process detoxifies the brain, improves concentration, and alleviates anxiety. In my experience, those who regularly consume broccoli notice stronger sleep, a more stable mood, and improved memory within a few weeks. Most notably, their reaction times improve. They no longer hesitate in conversations and recall words more readily. Broccoli also supports thyroid function, thereby regulating overall energy levels and mood. This is particularly important after 60, as even minor hormonal fluctuations can lead to fatigue and indifference. Furthermore, broccoli is virtually calorie-free, yet exceptionally rich in fiber. Fiber cleanses the intestines, where vital substances influencing happiness and calmness, serotonin and dopamine, are produced. It's no coincidence that a healthy gut leads to a calm mind. Allow me to share a brief anecdote. I have a patient, Lyudmila Pavlovna, 68 years old, an intelligent and caring woman who was constantly anxious and struggled with sleep, telling me, "Doctor, my thoughts never stop." Instead of prescribing medication, I suggested, eat broccoli 3 times a week with olive oil and lemon juice. 3 weeks later, she called, exclaiming, "Doctor, for the first time in a long time, I slept soundly." This is the power of food when we truly listen to our bodies, not through pills or restrictive diets, but through a simple green sprig prepared with love. For broccoli to be beneficial, one crucial aspect is not to overcook it. Steaming or boiling for no more than 4 to 5 minutes preserves its enzymes. Adding a little oil helps in the absorption of vitamins A and K, which protect brain blood vessels. I want to emphasize this. If you are over 60 and notice a decline in memory, increased anxiety, or mood swings, don't be too quick to attribute it solely to age. Your brain may simply be lacking its essential green fuel. Try incorporating broccoli into your diet for at least 10 days. I assure you the results will be surprising. Please do not dismiss this simple step. Broccoli is not about fashion. It's about living without mental fog. From my observations, individuals who consume green vegetables appear younger, not only externally but also energetically. They possess a different kind of gaze, clear, confident, and vibrant. This is not coincidental. It's the result of proper brain nutrition. Try a small ritual. Incorporate at least 1 spoonful of steamed broccoli into your meals daily. Make it a habit, and within a month, you'll realize that fatigue is not inevitable and age is not a definitive barrier. Now, a word of caution, not all greens are beneficial. In the next installment, I will discuss a third, highly beneficial vegetable that protects the heart and joints. However, choosing the wrong variety or preparing it incorrectly can yield the opposite effect. This vegetable is often mistaken for common greens, yet it has the remarkable ability to slow vascular aging and restore physical mobility. Stay tuned for the most practical advice yet. And please subscribe and give a thumbs up so YouTube can share this video with those who could benefit from its health-saving insights. There exists a vegetable that I affectionately call the silent doctor for the heart. It may not be flamboyant, lack a strong aroma, or elicit immediate excitement, but it possesses the extraordinary ability to rejuvenate blood vessels and joints. This vegetable is spinach. Yes, those very same green leaves that many dismiss as bland and an acquired taste, yet within them lies a potent strength that few are aware of. After 60, the body requires magnesium, potassium, folic acid, and antioxidants. Spinach generously provides these essential nutrients. They nourish the heart, relax blood vessels, enhance nervous system function, and mitigate joint inflammation. If beetroot serves as a cleanser and broccoli as a brain protector, then spinach acts as a tamer of the heart and joints, a natural regulator of our internal rhythm. It promotes a gentle and steady heartbeat, facilitates pain-free joint movement, and helps the body maintain flexibility. When I first began recommending spinach to patients, many would grimace, asking, "Doctor, am I supposed to chew grass like a rabbit?" However, after a month, nearly all reported similar positive changes. "I've become calmer," they'd say. "The pounding in my head has subsided and my knees no longer creak." Allow me to share a case in point. I had a patient, Grigory Pavlovich, 69 years old, a former driver who presented with concerns about his blood pressure and knee pain. His blood pressure fluctuated, his joints ached, and his mood was low. I opted not to overwhelm him with medications and instead inquired about his diet. It was standard: potatoes, meat, bread, and occasional salads. I proposed a simple regimen: consume a handful of spinach daily, either fresh or lightly steamed. "Doctor, will that really help?" he asked skeptically, but agreed to try. 3 weeks later, he returned with a smile. "You know, my knees don't hurt anymore, my blood pressure is stable, and I feel like I'm sleeping more deeply." How did this happen? It's quite straightforward. Spinach is rich in naturally occurring nitrates, which convert into nitric oxide, the very substance that dilates blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and improves circulation. Furthermore, spinach is abundant in magnesium, the mineral of calmness. It relaxes muscles, alleviates anxiety, and helps the heart function without interruption. After the age of 60, magnesium is particularly susceptible to depletion from medications, coffee, and stress. This can manifest as skipped heartbeats, rising anxiety, and muscle cramps. By incorporating spinach, the body seems to regain its steady rhythm. In my experience, this vegetable can literally restore softness and flexibility to the body when consumed regularly. You don't need to eat kilograms of it. A small bunch, 3 to 4 times a week, is sufficient. Enjoy it raw in salads with olive oil or lightly sautéed, but avoid frying or adding excessive salt. One important rule: do not boil spinach for extended periods, as this diminishes its vitamin content. Simply blanch it briefly or add it to warm dishes. Another remarkable property of spinach is its joint protective effect. It contains vitamin K, which aids in calcium absorption into bones, preventing its deposition in blood vessels. This means spinach simultaneously strengthens bones and helps prevent plaque formation. I often say that spinach is a green bridge between the body and tranquility. It works gently, without coercion. Don't expect immediate results like with medication. Within a week, you'll simply notice your body feeling lighter and your breathing deeper. If you suffer from nocturnal cramps, arrhythmias, headaches, or feelings of anxiety, try adding spinach to your diet. Even a few leaves in a smoothie or omelette can work wonders. And yes, gentlemen, pay particular attention. Spinach improves circulation, thereby helping to maintain male vitality. For women, it assists in managing stress more effectively and supporting hormonal balance. Spinach is a rare food that not only nourishes but also restores internal equilibrium, seemingly returning the body to a state of harmony that often diminishes with age. Try an experiment. Incorporate a handful of spinach into your breakfast or lunch every day for a week. Within a few days, you'll observe deeper sleep, less joint stiffness, and a more balanced mood. This indicates that your body is regaining energy that was previously expended fighting inflammation. Remember, maturity doesn't necessitate suffering, it demands attention, and spinach is one of nature's gifts that provides strength without fanfare. In the next part, I will reveal the fourth beneficial vegetable, often referred to as the elixir of longevity. It not only benefits the body but also nurtures the soul, improves memory, enhances gut function, strengthens the heart, and even reduces the risk of stroke. This is a vegetable I recommend to anyone seeking to live longer but without pain and fatigue. So please stay with me. The finale will bring together all the recommendations explaining how to make your diet after 60 a source of longevity, not limitation. Many underestimate it and some even fear it due to its pungent aroma. But my friends, if you knew what even a single clove of garlic can do for your body in your mature years, you would keep it not in your kitchen, but in your medicine cabinet. Garlic is a natural antibiotic, a blood pressure regulator, and a heart protector that literally extends life. It's no coincidence that in rural areas where people consume garlic daily, they tend to live longer than in cities where it's been replaced by pills. When I speak of garlic, I speak of nature's wisdom. It's a vegetable that works quietly but profoundly. It purifies the blood, combats viruses, bolsters immunity, and helps maintain flexible and clean blood vessels. After 60, this is precisely what the body needs. Not stimulants or energy pills, but clean blood and a calm heart. Garlic provides exactly this. It contains a compound called allicin, which forms when a clove is crushed. This component relaxes blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and improves brain circulation. In my observations, those who incorporate a small piece of garlic daily notice within a couple of weeks reduced tinnitus, normalized blood pressure, and easier breathing. But garlic's benefits extend beyond heart health. It also protects the brain from aging. Scientists have long established that the compounds in garlic slow neuronal degeneration, prevent dementia, and enhance memory. I witnessed this firsthand. Individuals who consume garlic retain their mental clarity and vitality for longer. Let me share an example. A patient, Mikhail Ivanovich, 75 years old, grey-haired and robust but weary, came to me with a cascade of issues: blood pressure, memory problems, and insomnia. Instead of burdening him with numerous medications, I asked, "Do you eat garlic?" He chuckled, "No, my wife dislikes the smell." I proposed a compromise: one crushed clove in the evening with a spoonful of honey. A month later, he returned, exclaiming, "Doctor, I'm sleeping like a young man. My blood pressure is steady and I wake up feeling no heaviness, and all because of that smelly garlic." You see, friends, sometimes simple remedies are more effective than complex regimens. Garlic is not a trend. It represents a life free from sluggish blood, cholesterol buildup, and chronic fatigue. However, it's essential to consume it correctly. Do not swallow cloves whole. That yields no benefit. Crush or finely chop them. Wait 5 to 10 minutes to allow the allicin to activate, and then incorporate it into your meals. It's best to serve it warm, not piping hot, so as not to diminish its beneficial properties. If your stomach is sensitive, have your garlic with a piece of bread or a tiny bit of oil. From my own experience, one simple practice: a clove of garlic daily wards off heart attacks and strokes, sharpens memory, lifts spirits, and most importantly, restores a sense of bodily confidence. You know what's truly remarkable? Individuals who start consuming garlic regularly don't just become healthier, they become gentler. Their irritability fades, sleep improves, and anxieties dissipate. This is because brain circulation is enhanced and breathing normalizes. Their bodies begin to operate at their own pace, free from abrupt changes and panic. Garlic is a symbol of maturity. It's pungent, yet wise, much like someone who has weathered many storms and now understands the value of simplicity. If you're over 60, integrate garlic into your life, not just as food, but as a ritual of self-care. A small thing? Indeed, but it's precisely these small things that extend life. Try one of my personal remedies. Crush a clove of garlic, mix it with a tablespoon of olive oil and a drop of lemon juice, spread it on a slice of whole grain bread, and eat it in the morning. You'll feel warmth, tranquility, lightness, as if everything within is awakening. And know this, it's not merely sustenance, it's a reconnection with your body. Garlic purifies not only the arteries, it cleanses energy and alleviates internal tension. In my experience, if a person consumes a little garlic daily, along with beets and broccoli once a week, their body ceases to age. Yes, you heard correctly, it stops aging in the conventional sense. The skin softens, the gaze brightens, thoughts become clearer, so don't fear this potent aroma of life. What you should fear is not garlic, but rather ceasing to listen to your own body. And now the most crucial part, what I promised to reveal only at the end. In this concluding segment, I will consolidate all the advice, explain how to craft a simple longevity diet, and share the secret that enables my patients to live without medication, maintaining mental clarity and physical ease even past the age of 70. Please don't leave. The finale is what makes listening to the entire message worthwhile. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. Believe me, what you're about to hear could transform your life.
My friends, if you've reached this point, I want to tell you one thing. You've taken a step that already sets you apart from the majority. Most people search for miracles in pills, in advertisements, in promises of quick cures, but you've chosen the path of mindfulness. You've decided to understand precisely what you put on your plate and how it impacts your life. This is already a victory. Together, we've journeyed from 4 vegetables that steal health to 4 that restore it.
Let's briefly but meaningfully recall them. the first things we leave behind: tomatoes, eggplants, corn, and cucumbers. Vegetables that appear wholesome but become a heavy burden on the body after 60. We no longer permit them to drain our energy, disrupt our sleep, or damage our vessels. And what do we replace them with? Beets, to cleanse the blood and nourish the liver. Broccoli, to protect the brain and restore mental clarity. Spinach, to strengthen the heart and joint. And garlic, to revitalize the body and extend life. These are the 4 pillars of mature health. Simple, accessible, free from advertising and miracle cures. Yet they contain everything needed to live longer, more peacefully, and more brightly. I don't want you to merely memorize their names. I want you to feel their essence. After 60, our bodies are like a beloved old home. It doesn't crumble if it's cared for. You just need to touch up the walls, oil the hinges, and shore up the roof in time. And these vegetables are your workshop for care. I've seen individuals reclaim their lives not through trendy procedures, but through simple habits. A glass of water in the morning, a spoonful of beets at lunch, a bit of spinach in the evening, and garlic as the day's touch of wisdom. Within a month, their faces radiated. They would say, "Doctor, I feel the zest for life again," and that's the most precious thing, because old age is not an illness. It's a time when the body demands attention and the soul gratitude. In my experience, when a person stops fighting time and starts living in harmony with themselves, the body finds its own strength. There's no need for strictness, no need to count calories. You simply need to listen to yourself. Here's my simple longevity plan. I call it 8 by 8, 8 hours of sleep, 8 minutes of morning movement, and 8 spoonfuls of vital food daily. Beets, broccoli, spinach, garlic, no more, no less. That's enough for the body to remember how to be alive. And now allow me to say what I tell each of my patients at the end of our session. Take care of yourselves. Your time hasn't passed. It is simply transformed. After 60, life doesn't end. It becomes purer. There's less hustle, but more meaning. You've lived enough to grasp the greatness in the simple things: clean water, restful sleep, kind words, and food prepared with love. Therefore, I implore you, don't disregard this advice. Let at least one of these suggestions take root in your life. Start with beets or a clove of garlic. Let it be your affirmative answer to life. And please, don't hoard this knowledge. Share this video with your loved ones. Pass it on to your parents, friends, neighbors. Let more people know that health is not a luxury but a choice. Write in the comments which piece of advice resonates most with you, which vegetable you'll try first. It will bring me joy to know that my words have found a receptive audience. And of course, subscribe and give it a like if this video has helped you see a simple truth. Age is not an ending. It's the beginning of a new form of existence, where you are the architect of your own well-being. Remember, even small steps are a journey. Even one decision is a turn for the better. Even one spoonful of the right food is an act of self-care. Take care of yourselves, live peacefully. And each morning, as you look in the mirror, tell yourself, "I am living, I am grateful, and I am worthy of health." Thank you for staying with me until the end. New conversations about life, health, and inner harmony await. Until we meet again, and may your life after 60 be clear, kind, and long.